Hello, ladies and gents. Romie Reviews here. Please like, comment, subscribe. This is another Romie Reports, but this one's a little different. I did a video months ago, essentially saying, pray for Wendy Williams, because it was very clear that when she was on her break, it was more than just health issues. I actually thought that the news that came out was going to come out around that time. But alas, no, her show was on hiatus. It was on hiatus. It was on hiatus. And we all kept looking like, and at the same time, the Daily Mail kept reporting all this information about Wendy's husband, Kevin Hunter, and the mistress and whatnot. And so then we were just like, okay, well, maybe she's going to take this time, file for divorce. The show came back, and she was still married to him, and she did this proclamation about how, until you don't see this as far as her wedding ring on, she's married to her husband. She loves her husband. Marriage goes through ebbs and flows, whatnot. I said, okay. Charlemagne was saying it's only a matter of time. All of us were saying it was only a matter of time. Then the side chick, let me just call her Nikki. So Nikki had the baby, and then we thought, okay, so is it going to happen now? And Wendy, we heard news about Wendy, from Wendy, and she let us know that she was living in a sober house. And I said, that's a very extreme move. So then that made me think, is she slowly trying to get away from her husband, and that's the best way to do it because it's, the marriage is now affecting her sobriety, which at one point maybe it was helping it. And that's what was going on in my mind. I said, will she have the strength to leave her husband? And then we got to this extra break, which I get it. A lot of shows have, because of spring break and whatnot and vacation, a lot of shows go on hiatus during this time. Got it. We were all thinking, but the Wendy Williams show was on hiatus for so long, they must have built up some type of equity in stock. But then it's like, okay, for rating purposes or whatnot, I said, fine, let her take the break. And on that break, she took a trip with her sober companions to upstate New York, and that's where we saw the picture in Walmart of her looking the way that she did, and people felt bad for her. And I looked at that picture and I said, okay, no. That's probably the one thing that I'm not going to take too seriously. And the picture actually died down. She talked about it. It was something that she talked about in length. So I said, fine. But during that time, something made me feel like, is Wendy getting her ducks in order for a divorce? And so now it's official. And it is confirmed. It's not a rumor. Wendy Williams is having a divorce from her husband, Kevin Hunter. It's irreconcilable differences, and meaning that they've done the work, they've tried, they can't do it anymore. I should say she can't do it anymore. It's also being reported that he's fine with the marriage ending because he wants, at this point, a payout will have to happen. A lot of people don't know this, but he is her manager, and he also is, partial owner, half owner, whatever, of her production company. And because of that, Wendy's going to have to shell out a lot of money. There are some stipulations where maybe it'll be less depending on, because all of this stuff that was put out could actually be in her advantage as far as the divorce proceedings. And it's very obvious that this really did mess up her brand and even her health if she really wanted to go there to make the payout less. But the important thing is she is leaving her husband. I am happy about this. I am thrilled because I said the only thing that's really changed and with the health and all of that, aside from her health, is the fact that the relationship problems. And again, like if you listen to the Breakfast Club, Charlemagne has consistently always said that Kevin Hunter wasn't a good guy, and that Kevin Hunter, there was even, Charlemagne was even flat out saying there's abuse going on in that relationship, and it's not just verbal. And now there's other reports from multiple news outlets. I mean, all of them are talking about it. How maybe Wendy, their production always heard, and I heard this one, production in the back for her show and other stuff would always hear, yelling and screaming when it was the two of them in a room together, and how he didn't treat the staff well. He had a nasty demeanor, and it just came through. It came through. They love Wendy. They hate him. That's just, and that's also why they go so hard for her, because they're like, dang, really? And so now we have this case where Wendy actually went and taped, because a lot of people don't know, but her Thursday show, she does two shows so that it can also, the second show could come out on Friday. And nothing happens for the Friday show as far as her making any big reveals, but it is hinted that, whew, she's going through something. We know, and I was wondering if it was gonna, I figured the news would either come out, I figured it would come out on the weekend. I figured it would come out on a time where it wasn't 100% just fresh, so that it would make things easier for her. Her audience would still love and support her and champion her even harder, but just for her to get through the show. For it to come out on, because she filed Thursday. So for it to come out on Thursday, it means, and she filed early Thursday, her and her attorney filed early Thursday, which means that the news cycle will have the weekend to circulate it, and then when she comes back on her show on Monday, she can either just let people know, do the tearful cry, and then just keep it pushing, or she could possibly delay it for a little while as far as just talking about it. Only because, I don't know, I would assume for her that she would try and get this done relatively quickly, because I'm sure she also has other things she wants to do, and with her name, his name still attached to her stuff, that'll mean that she'll have to pay him out, and I'm sure it's the last thing that she wants to do, especially because of this situation. And also, she probably is going to try and make sure, aside from they have a child together, she's probably also going to try and remain calm for two reasons. One, it could negatively impact the divorce. You could go and say that, oh, she's purposely trying to drag his name through the mud in order to, and he can even go and say, oh, maybe it was her who hired an investigator. You never know, because I think it was the, what was it? What's the, hold on. I believe the Inquirer is the one that's reporting that he wants a big payout. He wants potentially upwards of $10 million in the total divorce proceedings. They're saying that he's actually still spending up Wendy's money. Even though he's her manager and makes money because of that, they are married, so it sounds like the accounts are together anyway. So he went and got his, his new baby mama, what was it, a base level Ferrari, which is over $200,000, as well as other stuff, and it's just a mess. The Inquirer saying that, again, Wendy would also want to keep this amicable because Kevin is boasting around that he's actually fine with the marriage being over. Not only is he fine with the marriage being over because of, one, mainly the payout, two, he can go and be with Nikki, which is who he really wants, and three, he has so much information on her. And let's think about this for a minute. Wendy Williams is someone who's been in the entertainment, been a name in the entertainment industry, whether it was a big one or a small one, for going on at the bare minimum over 2 decades. Over 2 decades. And because of that, when you include radio, obviously, and because of that, there's a lot of things that, no matter how honest and real Wendy is / appears to be, she's still a person. So she's not going to want everything to be out there. And that's very important for people to remember. She's not going to want everything to be out there. She already talked about her drug use, crack cocaine. She talked about, now she's acknowledged, she's in the sober house again. She's talked about her weight, her body image issues, all of that. She didn't talk about her marriage like that. So that's an area that's close to her heart that she tried to keep quiet. But another thing is that, who's to say there aren't worse things in her past that would be very damaging to her. Even though she talks about people and whatnot, Wendy still has a very decent image for someone who does what she does. And so she's not going to want to do anything to mess that up. I mean, to me, that just seems obvious. And I don't know. It's one of those situations where the divorce is going to happen, and I hope it's a quick one so that we can get more of the Wendy that we used to. Because the thing is, I enjoyed watching her show, and then after, she had the health scare initially in 2017, things weren't the same, and then there were more rumors coming about her relationship, and I can definitely see at some point a book coming out. Maybe not soon because she has that son, so she's not going to want to go and drag her husband's name through the mud, his father's name through the mud. But at this point, she needs to live for her first, so that she can be great at everything else. So that's all. Let me know what you think. Please like, comment, subscribe, and if anything else major comes out about this situation, I'll be back.